I will nominate Gordon for the chair of this meeting.
Second.
It's all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Okay.
Would make a difference he was opposed to it.
Are we on the air, sir? We are, good, okay. Welcome, and for those that are here, I'd ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and welcome tonight. Our regular chair is not available this evening, and one of the other select persons is not available either. So we're operating with a reduced board for this evening's meeting. The first order of business that we have is a public hearing. If you are here in response to this public hearing notice, there's a clipboard on the table up there, and we'd appreciate it if you'd sign in, because they have to have a record of who appeared for this public hearing regarding the public infrastructure grant application for a community development block grant. So if you have not signed in, we'd appreciate it if you would.
That includes non-residents?
Yes.
Okay. Did you sign in, John? No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, okay, the purpose of the public hearing is to receive comment on the public infrastructure grant application for a community development block grant to partially fund a water main extension along Sokokis Trail between the Waterboro Middle School and the Waterboro Elementary School. This extension is necessary to alleviate known drinking water quality problems at the elementary school and to provide relief for any private well owners who may also have compromised drinking water quality. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak either for or against this application?
Well, I can.
If so, I would ask that you kindly step up to the podium and give us your name, please, because she needs to record it for the minutes.
So my name's Alex Wong. I work with Maine Rural Water Association, and I've been working with the district as well as the water district and the school district on this grant application. Thank you for holding the public hearing. As you mentioned, Mr. Littlefield, that the Department of Economic Development at the state level is the one that's administering these federal funds for the Community Development Block Grant. Part of the process is this public hearing in which we do need to record who's been here and if there are any comments that have been provided. And I guess I would just like to take this time to summarize the project up to this point. Community Development Block Grant uses federal funds to help what they call low to moderate income communities. Maine Rural Water has done an income survey of the area to be served, and we found that indeed the area is low to moderate income. DECD has invited us to go to this next step of the application process and actually submit an application. This application is competitive. It's scored on several points in several areas. There are probably about a dozen or so other applications that I'm aware of being submitted. The total pot of this money is around $2.7 million. So there's not a lot of money to go around, and there's a lot of hands out. If we make it past this application process, we'll then be invited to participate in the project development phase, where there needs to be an environmental review, which shouldn't be a problem, and there needs to be a few other steps to be gone through. As far as all the moving parts in this, the way the federal funds were developed, the funding program, Maine is a little different from many other states in the country, where we have quasi-municipal water districts, whereas most of the other parts of the country have municipal water districts or even county-wide water districts. So the funding mechanism is a little bit different. For us here, in order to get money for infrastructure, public infrastructure on the water side, money has to go through the town, and the town acts as the conduit to the water district. And in this case, it's even a further conduit because the school district is involved. I think we're all aware of the water quality problems for drinking water at the elementary school. Started with the arsenic levels being a little too high, and then the arsenic removal system causing lead and copper problems. Now the lead levels are too high, and we finally fallen upon the solutions to provide public water. I think those are the three parties that need to be involved, and I hope I've given a little bit more explanation of how the parts are fitting together. And I'm actually here to provide answers for you if you have any questions, or if anyone else has questions on how this is going to work. So with that,
I would think that perhaps being a school, that would be a higher priority on the list of, or isn't it?
yes, the application process, there is a score for imminent threat to public health. I would think that this would count. It's well documented, the effects of high level of lead to health, especially for developing children. But, you know, I write a good grant. I don't know how many other good grant writers are out there. I have 3 of them in the pipe, so. So, you know, are there any other questions that any other things that you'd like to hear or questions about? Anyone else out here? All right. At the Water District's request, I do have some correspondence here. And John, please correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think just to make things run a little bit smoother as far as the conduit of funding, the Water District is looking to come to some sort of agreement. Is that what Perkins Thompson is looking for?
Perkins Thompson is setting up an agreement which will be between the Water District, the town of Waterboro, and the school district, and they're kind of setting up the legal channels that are going to be needed to follow, and ensuring that the Water District does its portion of the work that's going. We're going to be essentially the contractor, or the hiring contractors, but we're going to be the ones putting the project together. And this agreement will ensure that we do this portion of it, but also that we will be compensated for the work. And I'm not sure of all the details, but that's essentially what I know about right now from this document. And we're going to be submitting that upon approval from the trustees.
Thank you. For the benefit of those that may be watching that don't know who you are, or for Christina, if you would kindly just state your name and...
Apologize.
No, that's okay.
My name's John Vicari. I'm with the Waterboro Water District. I'm the operator.
Now, how does the town tie in? You said the water district, the town, and the water district. I mean,
Right.
my understanding is the town simply is a conduit to this grant.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that is correct. The town is technically the recipient of the grant. The town needs to sign off on the application and things like that. And then when it comes to the town passes it on for the particular projects that need to occur. It's set up, like I was trying to explain earlier, the entire system is set up on the national level to provide funds to municipalities. And that's why this is kind of weird for Maine. As far as the district is concerned, I think that they just wanted to make sure everything was covered on a more legal basis. The administration of the grant can happen at the town level. I don't know if you've done these before, or you can also hire somebody to administer it as well.
So the town's the fiscal agent for the grant. However, is not obligated for any match funds.
Correct. Correct.
We're essentially a surrogate.
Correct. Yes. Yep, the match has been met by the school district, and we're applying for the extra 75% of the project cost to CBDG. So.
Is there anyone else
Anything else?
present that has a comment that they'd like to make, or either for or against this application? Okay, seeing none, I'll call a close to this public hearing at this time,
Thank you very much.
and we'll move on. We have no appointments this evening listed. Hearing of delegation. Is there anyone present this evening that has any matter they'd like to bring before the board that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
After, my name is Bob Gobiel, and I think I'd like to say something about the water, on the waterworks for this extension. Because I think the selectmen are making a big mistake by not coming all the way to the town hall. And boy, you remember, 10 years from now, you'll say you're sorry for not doing it. That's all.
I appreciate your comment, Mr. Gobiel. However, that one cannot be entered into the record of the public hearing because we closed the public hearing.
Right.
It will be on the minutes.
Right.
Okay.
This is copies of the documents, most recent ones.
Okay. You may want to give those to the town administrator.
Thank you.
Just in response to Mr. Gobiel's statement, I'd say in 10 years from now, if we want it to come to town hall, we can do that. So, you know, at this point, we don't see the need, but when we do, we'll extend it.
One of the considerations that we had during the discussion was the amount of money that would cost versus the benefit impact that it would have if we extended it to the town hall. And it just didn't equate at this particular point in time, because we don't have a necessarily a water problem at the town hall. So we felt that the money would be better expended on those areas that are having the difficulties.
So we appreciate you working with us on obtaining the funds in that aspect. We'll work with that and we'll go with that. Thank you.
Very good. Take care, John. If there are no other comments on hearing and delegation, I'll move on to correspondence. We have received Representative Libby's e-newsletter. Also, the Massabesic Lions Club Annual Youth Recognition Night nomination information has been received. We have a letter from the Saco River Corridor Commission from Waterboro's member Shawn Shoemaker. We have the EcoMaine recycling reports. We have copies of letters from Chief Boers of the Fire Department to Doug Foglio Sr., the Road Commissioner, and Tom Blackburn and Scott Davis. Scott Davis is with Lake Arrowhead Association. And we have the Motor Vehicle Agents January 2013 report and the 2011 to 2012 annual report. Any of those documents that anyone is interested in viewing may see them either on the town's website, or they may contact Christina or the town administrator, and copies will be provided for your review. Moving on to reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's report. We have, any of the Selectmen have anything to report?
I went to the 12-town group meeting last night. I think we probably know this, but I'm not sure we do all know it, that the county budget is every year the budget is, before it is passed, it is, it's in operation. So the county budget starts at the 1st of January, and it's not voted in until after that time for the past, I believe that's past 8 or 9 years. So it's kind of, not a great way to do business, to start spending funds before you're authorized to spend them. So anyway, that was talked a little bit about last night, but it was more of a did you know type thing rather than what are we going to do about it.
Did they say that that would be corrected when the county
Yes, that will be
transitions to the
corrected
fiscal
when-
year?
Yeah. I think.
We were in hopes.
Yes, one would hope. The meeting that we were to have last, that was snowed out last Saturday, has been moved to this Saturday, and not at 10 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock, and that is meeting with the York County delegation. And this is a time for us to talk to our representatives about the governor's proposal and about some of the concerns about the increase in financial stress on towns when the state isn't doing its job and is passing the buck, so to speak. There was quite a bit of discussion about that, but it's going to be at the old jail at 9 o'clock this Saturday. Anybody's welcome.
So that's the one that we know is the York County Advocacy Group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That was to happen during a snowstorm. It's called off. Yeah, it was just mentioned to talk about the school budget, and the school budget is 2.3% from, and that is not necessarily to the towns, but an increase of 2.3% at this time. And I think that has been kind of finalized at this point. I'm not sure what it means to the taxpayers in various towns yet. So that's pretty much what was talked about last night. We talked a little bit about the governor and the past probably 3 or 4 governors talking about consolidation. And, we have consolidated in some ways, and they're talking about fire and rescue. That's probably a good example as any as to the cooperation between towns there. I also brought up that we had discussed about the possibility, some possibility might be to do some things with the school department. And we talked about, not the school department, the school district, such as working insurance costs through schools. But so we talked about that. No decisions were made. That was pretty much the substance of last night's meeting. There were 11 people, 11 towns represented of the 12.
Thank you, John. David?
Nothing.
Okay. And I have nothing this evening. I'll move on to the town administrator's report.
We just got a couple of things that, still, we're in the middle of the budget, and I've updated all of the forms, and I have a thumb drive that I give to the finance committee, so all the reports and everything is on that thumb drive for them. I can give it to them when they come in next week. Aaron called, and a representative, Aaron Libby, and he will not be able to make it tonight because they are having a Republican caucus. They did pass the moratorium on the privacy of concealed weapons. The supplemental budget is out of appropriation committee, and it was unanimously approved with amendments. He does not know what the amendments are yet, and excuse me, he's waiting. They're going to have a meeting to go over what the amendments are. He expects the vote to be on Thursday for the supplemental budget.
Yeah.
And as soon as that is over with, then I'm going to start the public hearings on the biennial budget. So they're still in budgets up there too. Be interesting to see what the amendment was to the supplemental budget.
hopefully they've corrected some of their doom and gloom prophecies that, and it could severely negatively impact local government. We have anyone here representing the Transfer Station Recycling Committee?
I do have a report from Pat Orelli that I can read.
If you'd read that into the record, please.
Yes. Transfer Station Recycling Committee report to Town of Waterboro Board of Selectmen submitted by Committee Chair Patricia Orelli, 2/19/13. The Transfer Station Recycling Committee reports that the committee has not been able to meet for the last 2 monthly meetings due to bad weather. We are hoping to catch up with regular committee business at our next meeting, which is scheduled for Monday, February 25th at 6:30 p.m. at the Town Annex Building, 2nd floor. Since we have not met for the past 2 months, there is very little to report at this time. However, as chair, I would like to express our deep sadness over the passing of Willis Lord. He was a highly respected former member of our committee, a wonderful source of knowledge and history, a fair decision maker, and a good man who fulfilled so many important roles in state and local government. His contributions to Waterboro will continue to live on, but he will be greatly missed. Our committee extends our sincere condolences to his family. With respect to committee business, our committee is again looking to plan additional informational events in the future that will encourage more and more recycling by Town of Waterboro residents, and we'll be discussing this at its next meeting. Respectfully submitted by Patricia Orelli, Chair. That's it.
Thank you. And a little bit of a companion item to that, how is the director of the transfer station doing? I know he had some health issues
He will be back on the 25th.
on the 25th.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Do we have anybody representing the transfer station manager?
I have a report.
If you would be so kind as to read that.
Yes. Waterboro Transfer Station, February 19th, 2013. This time of year is always pretty quiet at the transfer station, and 2013 is no exception. I have attached some totals that I am in the process of compiling for the 2012 report for the state of Maine. The attachment shows the differences between totals for 2011 and 2012, and I think you each have a copy of that. Some of the things that jump out from the comparison are the following. 1,778.15 tons of household waste is down 49.39 tons. That's a savings of $4,300. 454.44 tons of demolition is up 28.06 tons. 450.55 tons of single sort recycling is up 7.61 tons. Single sort saved taxpayers $39,990.72 in tipping fees. We also now ship larger loads that are compacted in the new compactor. We saved 18 loads in 6 months in 2012. In July, we started bringing the silver bullets to the transfer station to be compacted. This now costs $70 a load instead of $143 a load to take it to EcoMaine. That's a substantial savings. We are now saving 50% on shipping furniture using the old cardboard compactor, and we shipped 71.19 tons that went to EcoMaine to be burned instead of going to a landfill at $20 more per ton. We took in over twice as much in fluorescent lamps by handling 5,012.5 linear feet in 2012. We just got word that as of January 1st, 2013, our tipping fees for demolition debris is going up $1 a ton, which will be paid to the state of Maine, and will go up to $2 a ton in 2014. Clinton Andrews, Transfer Station Manager.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's good to see that new compactor is beginning to
Pay for itself.
pay for itself, and other means of savings they're doing down to the using compactor for furniture and stuff, so. The plans that were made several years ago are beginning to pay off, that's good.
So it brings to fruition some of the method to our madness, back when we had those discussions. Do we have a representative from Eco Maine?
No, he's not here.
Okay. So
Did he leave a report?
we'll dispense with that report then. I'll move on to new business. First item, and the only item under new business, is to discuss and vote to ask the State Department of Transportation to conduct a traffic study related to a petition request to lower the speed limit on West Road from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour. What is the board's pleasure on that?
That's the whole length of the West Road they're talking?
Are you here to represent that particular point? If you'd care to speak, sir, then just let us know.
My name is Mike Roulard. I live on Windy Way, which is off of Dorigo, which is again off of West Road. Right now, 35 goes from 202 to where you get to the Old Corner Church.
Federal Street.
That's, okay, then it's 45. But the problem is from the Old Corner Church to Ross Corner. They go anywhere from 50, and they've gone 70 miles an hour up on that section. Very dangerous for the kids on the buses. The problem isn't only the kids, teenagers, it's adults. And the worst ones I've seen, because I've been watching this for a while, are the bus drivers. I've been behind the bus drivers doing 65 miles an hour, loaded with kids. And I took their number and I went over and saw Detective Solomon at the high school, and I gave him the information. And I spoke to one of the sheriffs a couple years ago, and he said, how are you going to get them to go from 35 to 45? From 45 to 35 if they won't do 45 anyway. And I said, the only way you can do that is hit them in a wallet, and once they get fined for criminal speed, after a while they're going to start slowing down. And I think that's the only way to do it. At least if you're down to 35, they may slow down to 45. But right now, it's just way too fast. When my granddaughter was in elementary school, in 3 months' time, I seen 11 near misses. Cars coming around the bottom of Latchy Hill around the bend, going towards Dorigo, and not being able to stop in time. So we got to do something. The names I've gotten, I've had real good support, and people have told me that if this goes through and a sheriff department want to park in my driveway, they're more than welcome. I mean, they park at the bottom of the hill there by the power lines, but all they need to see is one car sees them, and then they'll signal to the others coming down, and of course they'll slow down. But if they park in an unmarked car, I guarantee they're going to be surprised by the speeds going down. One of the officers told me once that he stopped a man doing 71 miles an hour, and he was on his way to work, and he was a teacher at the high school. So everybody's involved. And when I first moved up there, we used to let our kids walk from just below Lasky Hill to the mill room and back. They were 5 and 7 years old. Now we won't walk the rest road anymore. So I'm asking that you guys get this going. I spoke to Morris Willett, and he says once this gets to his office, he's going to support it. State Police is going to support it. And I understand that this is going to be a town road. It's on the list to be turned to a town road in the near future. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but.
Now, what sort of a study would the state do to bring this about?
Oh, I have no idea. All I know is this is the first step, and we get past this, then I think you guys turn it into the DOT, however it goes from here.
want to see if I hear you right. Hearing's not great anyway.
Oh, sure,
so-
I understand. I got the same problem.
Are you saying that you'd like to see the whole road at 35? Are you saying that 45 should stay at 45 and be enforced?
No, where it's 45 now from where the old corner church
Yep,
to Ross Corner, drop that at 35.
okay.
That's the problem. It's up that end of the road.
Yep.
You know, I see a lot of the sheriff there. They're out front of the school, and I'll pull in and tell them. I said, you know, if you want to see somebody speed, go up a couple miles. Then you'll catch all you want. And I think Stacy she lives on the west road. She lives right on the west road. It's just like last week we had a snowstorm, and we lost power. And evidently someone was coming down Lassie's Hill around that bend, lost control, and broke the pole in half. The only reason why they break a pole or they lose control is they're going too fast. I've been on that road for 33 years, and I've never had an accident. All you got to do is slow down, and we got to get the people to slow down. I mean, you come off of Dorigo on the west road, and if you don't gas it up right off, they're gonna come right on your tail. And some have even passed me on a double yellow line going up a hill.
So, I mean, you're talking now at 45, usually police don't nail someone unless they're over 10 miles over the speed limit. So now you're talking 55 up through there that people gonna feel fairly safe without getting a ticket. And 55 up there is pretty out of control.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that once they start getting fined, then they're gonna slow down. I know I would.
I mean, do we have the same problem? Are we fighting the same problem here we fought on Dewars Ridge Road, that we didn't have the right signs and flags and everything else, or is this, I
Yeah.
don't understand why it can't be enforced if they're speeding.
Well, it can be, but what they're asking for is it to be dropped down.
I know that, but I mean, if they.
We have flags, so
If
it
we
gets
had,
dropped down.
if they had been enforcing the 45, I mean, maybe that's too fast too, is what you're saying, but.
45,
Would be
it's
a
not.
lot better than 55 or 60.
45 isn't too fast for that road, but that's about the fastest you want to go on it. But people just don't do 45. They do 60, you know. And my thought is if they get bagged doing 60 on the 35, then that's going to force them to slow down.
And if you get it down to 35, then people gonna do 45 and think they're stretching it about to as far
Exactly.
as they can go, and that's basically what you say, what the
Right.
road could possibly handle. So we need to get down to 35, so if someone's doing 50, you can nail them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that doesn't follow with what he's saying. You're saying if they get hit with criminal speed. Well, criminal speed, you have to be doing at least 30 miles an hour over the posted speed. So they would have to be doing 65 miles per hour.
Which they do. They go.
Oh, I'm sure they
Yeah,
do, because and when on some of those hills, if you just coast with no braking, you're going to exceed the posted speed limit.
But I mean, that's why you got brakes. That's why you can
Yeah.
downshift. Posting is not an excuse. You know, people use that a lot. That I'm going downhill, I can't help it. No, that's why you've got brakes.
You got brakes. That argument doesn't fly either. But I really question the speed reduction. I don't think that that's going to solve the core problem that you have. I think that the problem's going to be solved by having some strong enforcement activity up there. You know, and start, you know, having a presence there on a regular basis, and the issuance of a lot of summonses, and get the word out.
I've been there for 30 some odd years, and trying to get sheriff department over there or the state police, then they don't have the funds to spend that much time up there. That's one of the problems.
I guess what makes you think then that they would have any more funds if the speed limit were reduced?
All they need to do is stop 1 or 2 people, 3, 4 people, and repeatedly stop the same offenders, and then they're going to start slowing down.
You don't think that this would be accomplished with the speed limits the way they're posted right now?
No, sir, they haven't been over the years.
No, because there hasn't been the level of enforcement that there should have been. I'm just saying, what makes you think that there will be an increased level of enforcement if you reduce the speed limit? If they're not up there now,
I'm not saying that there's gonna be an increased level of enforcement. I'm saying that the ones that do speed and they get caught, all right, and they get fined, they speed again, they get caught, they get fined. Well, it's gonna come time that their wallet's gonna get pretty thin and they're gonna have to slow down. And that's what we're hoping.
well, the same thing applies right now.
Yeah.
If they were to enforce it and they got stopped and got a summons,
But you don't understand, they don't have the manpower to enforce it.
Well, we have a town deputy here that should be somewhere in town.
They're not. They're not. I mean, we don't, rarely do we see state police or a sheriff department on that road.
this has been, I've spent most of my adult life in law enforcement.
Oh, I know you have.
Retired from the police department. And I know that the issue of speeding in any community is always a sore spot, because you can't be everywhere at once.
Exactly.
And we're faced with a situation that, we're receiving complaints of speeding on some other arteries in town that has a high volume of commuter traffic, and, we have done traffic studies of our own, because the town does own some equipment in that regard, where the speeds have been, well in excess of 70, 80 miles an hour on these stretches of road. And so I know that there's some enforcement activity going on there, but I think the traffic study is a good idea, because it'll give us an idea of what the average speeds are that are being clocked there, and then the times that the predominance of these offenses are taking place, whether it's your traffic that's going to work in the morning, or it's coming home at night, or just what time it is, so that then you can gauge selective enforcement activities around those peak times, rather than just have an officer go up there. And you know as well as I do, because you mentioned it yourself, that when they see an officer, they're flashing their lights, and to some extent, when people flash their lights, it gets you to slow down. So you're actually serving the purpose just by sitting there.
Would there be any merit to signs that say fines doubled?
Well, that's a statutory thing. You can't. The courts won't double fines just because the town puts up a sign that says the fines are doubled. There has to be some statutory thing behind it. Like, for instance, you see the signs at construction sites. Well, there's a specific statute that governs that, and that would have to be through the legislature to say that. There's a range of fines that the judge can levy, and even in traffic infractions, there's actually a book that has fines listed out in it that the Violations Bureau goes by, and the officer goes by when he puts it on there, because he writes the fine right on the summons what it's going to be.
How does the state determine a speed limit? I mean, do several people go up, drive it, look at the number of driveway entrances and the traffic on the road, and then get together and make a recommendation? How does that happen?
A lot of times it does start with a petition, and they look at things like what is the average speed on that road by doing a traffic study. They look at the number of motor vehicle accidents that have taken place on the particular stretch of road, and of those accidents, how many were attributed to speed, how many fatalities were there, how many personal injury accidents there were. All these things come into play, and every accident, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, are coded by a 4-digit number. You've probably seen them around on their green. You've seen little signs that have 4 numbers on it. Those are coded on an accident report, so when it goes up to engineering and it's plugged into the computer, that's one of the things that they look at to determine whether or not a particular road is unsafe, and it may be unsafe because it's wasn't designed properly. It may be unsafe because of, of the speed. There's a number of factors, so they look at more than just one aspect of it. I mean, I would certainly support a traffic study to find out, what speeds are being recorded and the times that have the most frequency.
But there's been traffic studies over the years, and nothing's helped. I think
Well,
you
I mean,
guys,
that's-
didn't you
according-
guys have a traffic study in the last fall or summer?
According to what you're asking here, or what was put on our agenda, was you're asking us to go to the state to see if they'll conduct a traffic study.
Well, I didn't mention the traffic, it was probably written that way, but my goal, or not just mine, but our goal, is to get that speed limit dropped, hopefully at 35, so it'll force people at some point to slow down if, and they keep getting ticketed for doing excessive speeds. And it probably could. We had one girl, this was in the 90s, she come down over Lasky's Hill, and she lost control when she got in front of Durago, and she rolled over and went over Stonewall, and the trunk was folded over the hood of the car. She walked away from it. God, I don't know how she did. But anyway, all that happened was they just took the car, put it in front of the school, and that was it.
Now, has there a petition been circulated by the residents down there, or?
I went around and I got some names, and my goal was to hit everybody on the West Road. And, but I just didn't have the time. So, but the ones that I've talked to, there's only 2 people that didn't want to sign it.
So, do we know, Gordon, what the procedure is here to start this thing?
You have to vote and send it to DOT, and then they'll handle it. They'll do a traffic study.
So just by a vote of us?
So we can do that without the petition. I mean, we can ask
You
for a
could,
traffic
yeah.
study,
Yes.
and then they don't have to go out and go do the door.
They've
If
already
we
had
don't do it,
It's
they
in
can
your
do it.
packet. They've already done it.
We've done it. We've gotten.
Oh, you've got
Already
it?
done it,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But it's not required. Do you think slowing down law-abiding citizens from 45 to 35 might be more dangerous for them when law breakers are gonna keep on speeding anyway? That's the question I'm thinking of, is if you slow people down to 35 who are already obeying the law, they're gonna do 35 and be late for work or have to leave 10 minutes early, whatever. But the people that are speeding, they're still gonna be speeding. Is that gonna make it more dangerous for the
I think that what I was trying to convey to this gentleman is that you're gonna get the people speeding regardless of whether you could drop it down to 25 miles an hour, and
That's right. But
you probably pick up those criminal speeders, and that you can actually lock them up. But
if you drop it down, it'll get these people to slow down. I mean, if they go 45, that's fine, because I think the road is safe to go 45, but not to go the speeds that
well,
they go.
that may be what the state comes to a conclusion on. See, I don't think that's what I've been wrestling with. Is I don't think that 45 miles an hour is the problem. I think the problem is lack of enforcement to get people to do the 45 in the first place.
I think the problem is not only lack of enforcement, it's the people's attitudes. I mean, they just think they can go just as fast as they want. And in the meantime, people are getting hurt. There's accidents.
Well, I know that in the business sometimes someone's just called an attitude adjustment.
Well,
So
I mean,
it's,
if a bunch of people drive that, if you say really the maximum speed that most people feel safe at would be 45, and you drop it to 35, then those people still do 45, they're probably not going to get arrested. Where and if those same people could be doing 55 now, and they're probably not gonna be pulled over because they're only 10 miles over the speed limit. But if they're doing 55 and we drop it down to 35, now you're 20 miles over the speed limit and you have a good reason to pull them over. So I think it makes enforcement a lot easier if indeed you feel that 45 is the maximum safe speed on that road. Then you shouldn't be having people going 60.
A lot of municipalities or police agencies establish sometimes an informal policy about not issuing a citation unless the offender is going, 10 miles over the speed limit. That is not a hard and fast rule.
No.
The law allows that if you're doing 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, that's sufficient for you to be stopped. What the court looks at is, because of the variances in speedometers and tires, that they tend to give a little bit of leeway to compensate for those things that a driver may not necessarily have total control over.
You take in you cite a person for going 7 miles over the speed limit, and you take them to court. I don't think many people are gonna go there. But if they're 15 miles over, then you might follow through with it. Well, what's the validity of radar to 1 or 2 miles an hour? It's probably very valid within 5 to 10 miles an hour, but it may not be that valid within 1 or 2 miles an hour. So if you're nailing a person for going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit, his attorney's going to say, "Hey, what's the validity of radar there?" Thrown out of court.
Which is why I said the court, looks at things like errors in speedometers and so forth, and makes adjustments there. But I know a lot of agencies that they set a goal at 7 miles an hour over or 9 miles an hour over.
Okay.
As the difference between giving a written warning and a summons, because law enforcement looks at what you're trying to accomplish. Your objective is to slow the traffic down. The objective is not to see how many fish you can get in a barrel. And in essence, dropping the speed limit there for no real valid reason other than it makes it easier to, grab the fish, so to speak.
Oh, no, that's not the point. You're missing the whole point.
No, the whole
Dropping
point
the
is
speed
you want to
limit.
slow the speed down.
Dropping the speed limit is hoping that the people are gonna slow down.
Yeah, you want to get people to drive
That's it.
in a responsible way.
If they get caught, we're not trying to catch fish in the barrel here, but it's, if they're doing 60 miles an hour, then they deserve to get fined.
Yeah,
All they got to do is slow
and I
down.
don't dispute that at all, whatsoever. But if you think that they're not going to go to court, essentially they don't have to go to court if they're doing less than 30 miles an hour over. Everything goes to the Violations Bureau. If 30 miles an hour over, then they have to go to court because the Violations Bureau doesn't have any jurisdiction there.
So what would it be, if you just move this to DOT? I mean, and let them do a study and
No, we can
whatever
certainly
it
do
takes, whatever it takes for everybody to do to get this thing resolved and get
that.
people to
we
slow
could
down.
argue it all night and beat a dead
Oh yeah,
horse,
that's
but
right, beat a dead
Yeah,
horse.
We can have the town administrator, move this through. We can take a vote as the board to say that we want to bring this forward to DOT and have a good. I just want you to know both sides of
Yeah.
an argument here.
Yeah.
And
I think human nature is we know people are going to go fast, but if you kind of put the target lower, there will be people, human nature will still always go very fast, but maybe the majority will slow down to the
It's like
reasonable
growing
speed.
up, I'm sorry,
No,
go ahead.
okay.
It's like growing up, when you did something wrong, your father, first he gave you a warning, one in, out the other. Second time he gave you a warning, one in, out the other. Third time he spanked you. And after a couple spanking, you say, geez, this is starting to hurt, I better not do this again.
I think that same analogy applies with the speed limits that you have in place right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's the enforcement. If your father took no enforcement against you, you'd still do it. So it falls back onto the level of enforcement that you have to to get people to comply, to get voluntary compliance.
And like I said, with the budget cuts, with the sheriff department, county, I mean, they don't have the manpower to keep someone in there all the time or as often. They're doing the best they can, and I appreciate that, but the best they can isn't solving the problem. So we gotta try to take this in one step further.
And that's why I brought up about the deterrent. If there is no extra enforcement available, that may be the case, but if there's a way to even get signs that say fines doubled, that might be a deterrent that
Or strictly enforced.
strictly enforced, something that makes
You know,
people go, ooh,
yeah.
you know, this is a serious road.
Which is a paper tiger unless you have something there to back it up.
Right.
But rather than, you know,
I agree with you with the enforcement. I mean, that's definitely an issue. Because I've stopped at,
so rather than prolong this, because we seem to be just going around in circles, the board would entertain a motion to,
I will move that we direct the town administrator to request a speed evaluation for Westboro from DOT.
I'll second that.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to have the town administrator approach the Maine Department of Transportation in an effort to conduct a traffic study regarding the feasibility of reducing the speed limit on West Road. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate it. Old business, review of budget workshop dates. We have a list of those, Christina?
The next budget workshop is next Tuesday evening, after your regular brief business meeting. So that would be Tuesday, February 26th, about 6:30 p.m.
Okay. We're all on board with that. We don't have any scheduled conflicts or anything? All right. We don't have one scheduled for thereafter. We were gonna do it as
Not yet.
on a as-needed basis, I believe. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the warrants for bills and payroll.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 12th, 2013 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Pending decisions, we still have the public service announcements, the driveway opening permit language, the board and committee status. We still have vacancies on some of the boards. If you are interested in participating in municipal government or any of those boards, certainly feel free to come down and you can get an application for that. Are the applications online as well?
Yes.
Okay, or you can go online and obtain an application. We need people for the Economic Development Forum, and we're working on the implementation of town charter changes that will become effective July 1st, 2013. This week's action list, we need to prepare that communication with the Maine Department of Transportation. Is there any other item?
Should we communicate with Shawn on this situation on the West Road? Or ask
Yeah, I
him
think that's probably an excellent idea, to see what,
his response is?
I've had a conversation with Shawn, and he's a little dismayed. He's very, very pleased that the town has, supported his efforts, but the thing that bothered him a little bit was he was trying to highlight the Deering neighborhood road, make that specific, and I guess in an effort to be responsive to that, we put up signs on Weber Road and the New Dam Road. So in essence, what it did was it detracted from what he was trying to do on the Deering Neighborhood Road, and it's sort of like having a sentence that you put one or two words in bold because you want to accentuate those, and you put quotes around them, and it draws your attention to that and makes that particular segment important. But when you take the whole sentence and make that bold and put quotes on it, it sort of diminishes what you were trying to do. So I'm hoping we don't extend the flags to the West Road at this time. It may be that we assume that.
Because it's a state road.
You know, those flags just go in little receptacles, right?
Right, yeah.
So, you have those receptacles out there on the stop signs. You put the flags, you take them out from the Weber Road. You concentrate for the next month and a half on the Deering Ridge Road. Then you put them on the Weber Road, and you concentrate on there. So we might have those receptacles around, but you move the red flags every month or so. Move them around, which tells people,
establish the
look out.
selective enforcement area. Yeah. All right. I think that's an excellent idea, Dave. We ought to put that on the week's action list to see, because I know that the county also has the radar trailer that possibly could be utilized as well up there to bring some attention to that. Discussion of agenda items for next week. Does anyone have anything at this time?
I'd like to have some sort of action taken on the budget committee recommendation that I made. Also, I think what we need to do is start moving on town administrator recruitment.
I think that was already on the agenda, wasn't it, for next week? Wasn't that already on the agenda for them, because,
Is that on?
for next week anyways?
Just want to make sure that it is.
Yeah, because I know that the chair had gotten a job description from Gray.
Okay, but I just want to, I'm pushing that along because a time does go by.
Yeah. While I read off the reminders, just to give the board a reminder that your signatures are needed on the warrants and the minutes that are present in the folders. The reminders for the upcoming meetings. On Wednesday, February 20th at 6 p.m., the Community Garden Committee will be meeting at the Old Town Hall. On Wednesday, speaking of that, how did your little program go?
It's tomorrow night.
Oh, it's tomorrow night, okay. All right. For those of you that are interested in learning how to start seedlings and so forth, the Garden Club is meeting.
It's at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, the workshop.
7 o'clock tomorrow night, the workshop.
And we built a seedling stand so they can see how they work.
Huh, good.
You play them classical music, right, when you're planting them, not rock and roll.
No, you have to have rock and roll. No, you have to have rock and roll. They like rock and roll better.
Depends on the season.
Classical makes them sleep.
Wednesday, February 20th at 7 p.m., the Planning Board will conduct a workshop at the Town Hall. On Wednesday, February 20th at 7 p.m., I guess it's that Community Garden Committee workshop class. And that's at the Old Town Hall. Saturday, February 23rd at 8:30 a.m. is the cribbage tournament at the Old Town Hall. On Saturday, February 23rd at 10 a.m., the York County Advocacy Group will be meeting in the York County Government Building.
That's at now 9 a.m.
Yeah, we're going to change this to 9 a.m. on February 23rd. And this is what, it's the York County Government Building is the building that most people might know as the old jail on Route 4. Not to be confused with the old jail on 111. On Monday, February 25th at 6:30 p.m., the Transfer Station Recycling Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Tuesday, February 26th at 6 p.m., the Selectmen's meeting and budget workshop will take place at the Town Hall. On Thursday, February 28th at 6:30 p.m., Old Home Days Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Thursday, February 28th at 7 p.m., the Library Board of Trustees will meet at the library. And on Tuesday, March 5th at 6 p.m., the Selectmen's meeting will take place with reports from the Road Review Committee and Road Commissioner, and that will take place at the Town Hall. We have a gentleman with us from the Finance Committee. Did he wish to have any comment this evening?
I just came to see if I might pick up anything that would be of interest to the Finance Committee. We did start our review Thursday, and I also brought John's memo about possible organization of the Budget Committee, and people scanned it, and they visually scanned it and asked me to actually scan it and email it to them, which I did today, with the thought that we should look at it since we've been dealing with some of these issues. And my own comment was I thought it was pretty good.
If you have any recommendations on that, any tweaks or something, get to me and I'll get it to people by next week. Okay. Yep.
Those are comments from Steve Ross from the Finance Committee. Does any member of the board or the town administrator have anything else before the chair entertains a motion for adjournment? Seeing none, I would entertain that motion.
To adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Good night, everyone.